Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 8 of our 19 Days of June, our mindfulness series that allows us busy humans to just connect with a moment of mindfulness each day without adding to the schedule. So, thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm going to keep introducing myself just in case, because there is always someone new that joins in. So if you have not met me before or come across me before, my name is Jess Jash. I am the owner and founder of J-Leigh. We specialize in embodied leadership coaching and training, particularly around areas of emotional intelligence, communication, stress awareness, and nervous system regulation. So we really focus on those kinds of leadership skills that make more of a positive impact, because the tagline is impacting positive change, and we can't do that if we don't work internally on ourselves first. So, welcome to day 8. I hope you're having a lovely weekend so far. For those of you that are listening in real time or more in real time, today we are coming back to the breath for a moment. So, we've worked on the diaphragmatic breath, and then we've added on the equal breath from there. And then we've added on the unequal breath, that calming breath with that longer exhale. For today, we are working with our box breathing or our square breath. So I'm going to explain it in visuals for those of you who are watching, and in words for those of you who are just listening on the podcast, so that you understand what it is, and then we will go through it. But this kind of breath has been found to really help to regulate in nervous states of stress and overwhelm, in even feeling low feelings as well. So it can be a really, really helpful mindful practice with a fair bit of research behind it that supports that for us. So we are working with our equal breath in this, but we are adding pauses. One thing I will say, if you have a condition, pregnancy is one of those conditions, but it's not only the only condition. But if you have a condition where holding the breath is not recommended, please do not hold the breath. Just do your equal breath, breathe as you need to here. Work with the equal breath that works for you at the length that works for you, because it might be a bit different than your usual. For those who are pregnant, it might be a bit different than what you're usually used to, because there's a whole human growing, taking up space in your body. So that is not the only condition though. So if you know that you have a condition that doesn't work for you, or if you start to try this and it just doesn't work, you don't have to do it that way. Just come back to the equal in out without the pauses, right? So I need you to discern that for yourselves, manage that for yourselves. But we're working with this equal breath where we add in a pause between the inhale and the exhale, and the exhale and the inhale, so that if you were to draw it out, you would be inhaling. Let's say four counts. Yours might be different, but just for the sake of using an example, you'll inhale 4, pause 4, exhale 4, pause 4. So if you can't see me, I'm drawing a square with my finger as I do that. So you inhale, you're drawing one side of the box, pause, you're drawing one side, exhale, you're drawing one side, pause, you're drawing one side. So the aim is generally to try and make sure that, or not make sure, you try and have that pause be the same length as your inhale and your exhale, those two which should match. But it might take a moment, or it might take some time for that to build up. So as you get used to pausing with the breath, you might start with an inhale. Again, these numbers are just examples, but you might inhale 4, pause for 2, and then exhale 4 and pause for 2, and then pause for 3, and then build up to 4, whether it's in concurrent breaths or over a longer period of time of breaths. That is okay. What we are not doing really is stepping into force or exertion, but it still will be that stretch. So if you're not ready to hold for that 4 breaths, that's okay. If you have stretched your breaths to somewhere around that 6 or even 8 count, you might not be ready to pause for 6 or 8 counts. That's okay. So don't lessen your length of your breath in and out just to cater for where your pause is. Lessen the pause and just practice that, because I know on some days I'll feel like those pauses are a very long time. And other days I'm like, oh, I can actually stretch further with this. So it really just depends on what's going on for you and how that works for you. So you don't have to do the literal hand, like finger drawing in the air movement. If you find that useful, by all means, do so. I'm going to do it for the visuals here and I'm going to talk it through for those who are listening, but that's how we're going to do it. So we're going to do, I haven't decided yet, we're going to do 3 to 5 of these breaths, right? And at some point, you are going to find your own cadence with that. So you may not be matching my count, but you'll find what that is for you. You might find the practice to just go along with my count easy enough. And then when you take this into your own practice after watching or listening to this, then you can do your own thing. So we're gonna go with that. I'm gonna keep count with this hand. I'll let you know when we're up to our last breath with this, but take a deep breath in and out. So when you're ready, inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold, in, hold, exhale, hold. We're up to the last one. I'm going to stretch it out just a bit. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. And just take a deep breath in at your own pace and length. And then exhale out. That's simple. There are apps that take you through this square breath with the visuals on the apps if you're a visual person, or with the sound if you're that sort of, there's a word for it, but that audio sort of person. Um, or you can, draw it in the air if you are comfortable doing that. If that works better for you, you can count it. So quietly, I was counting inhale. At first, it was inhale for 3, 2, 1, hold for 3, 2, 1, and so on and so forth. That last one I stretched it to 5. So it's sort of like this gradual, like little stretches at a time. It wasn't necessarily a full count each time. So you find the way that works for you. But I know from experience, but I also know because the research tells us, and this is a really, really useful breath to just bring us into the present, because there's not a lot else we can think about or focus on when we're doing this. If holding the breath is safe for you, I'm going to say that again. If holding the breath is safe for you, it brings us into the present moment, but it also just, this is not the scientific explanation of it, but to help you sort of understand what it might feel like for you. This is my example of how it feels. It feels like it's just kind of sweeping out the cobwebs of the mental energy or even the emotional energy. We're not sort of sweeping anything under the rug. It's not like that, but it just helps to sweep out the cobwebs. So that way there's just a little bit more clarity of, yeah, cool. This is what I do feel. Because if it's emotions, we're allowed to feel what we feel. We should acknowledge as best we can what we're feeling. If it's mental energy, it's this is all of this is a very simplified way of explaining this, right? But it is this way of clearing out the cobwebs just so you can see what is actually going on a bit clearer. And for me, that helps to ease some of the energy usage that is going on. Well, so there's kind of an efficiency. If I was a refrigerator or like a white good, there's an efficiency there, but um, it also gives you clarity. Even if it's not that you're confused or anything, it just helps you go, okay, yeah, cool. This is what I need. Or now I'm focused. Or maybe I'm still a bit tired, but I don't have the same fatigue as such. But do this as with anything, and whatever you do, you don't have to do the same thing every day, but do this or something mindful, any of what we've been practicing, anything you've found for yourself, do it consistently. Just it's more about the consistency, which is why we're doing the 19 days of it, because the consistency of 5, 10, 15 minutes a day, and this kind of breath work you can do with almost whatever else you're doing, really gives you that build upon results. So even if it's breath work one day, in nature the next, because I've mentioned nature a couple of days ago. When we're in nature, we tend to be taking deeper breaths naturally anyway, right? So this is just one of those things. All right. You guys have a beautiful Saturday if you're listening to this in more real time. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow for a brand new mindfulness approach for our Sunday. And I'll talk to you then.